It brings so much of joy just being here with each and every one of you today. It's just like a love appointment. It's a dating that we do every Tuesday.
Mhm.
Spiritual dating.
Mhm.
Every Tuesday, and it's wonderful and not too bad. Many relationships after dating they don't even last 1 year, but this has lasted for many years. So this is a wonderful initiative, and I think the only thread that is keeping all of us together it's, it's really so easy. And Swami's divine presence. And with that, I would like to start our session for today. The bestower of pure bliss. Om Shri Sai Anandadaya Namaha. Sometimes during Aradhana, which will commence on the 3rd of April to the 23rd, um, one of the sadhana that myself and some of the other meditators in the national meditation team we do is that we pick a few namavalis and then we internalize the namavali. And one of the most favorite namavalis are Om Shri Sai Anandadaya Namaha, the bestower of pure bliss. And Swami himself has said he has come only to give us that experience of bliss. And so sometimes when in deep contemplation, when we internally recite this Namavali, Anandadaya Namaha in your heart, and imagine Swami in front of you or within you, and you start to experience this immense sense of joy radiating from the center of your heart. And that's a wonderful feeling. I'd like to invite all of you to try this out. Every Namavali describes Swami's presence in numerous ways. So each Namavali has its own potency. But if you do not use the Namavali, then it becomes an intellectual understanding. So Swami gives this in Prema Vahini. Swami gives this very beautiful example of a person who is eating and also digesting the food. Bhagavan says that when you eat, it's like bookish knowledge. Just like when you read something or we go through the satsang. So it is just at a superficial level, right? But the main thing is the digestion which happens in the stomach. Once you consume the apple needs to be digested so that the nutrients can be absorbed by the body. So similarly, Bhagavan says the digestion of this or whatever the spiritual practice is to practice. So intellectual knowledge is as if you're eating the apple, digestion is practice. If you just have intellectual knowledge without practice, what happens? There's no digestion. The apple that you eat cannot keep the doctor away. So end up you'll have to come and see the doctor all the time. Who's the doctor? Spiritual doctor. You end up depending on so many other, YouTube videos and unnecessary things because your mind is not focused towards the digestive process, which is the practice. So always come back to the practice. Am I doing the sadhana or not? Is my practice good enough? How can I improve my practice? And once you improve your practice, you enhance the bliss that you derive from the practice itself. Okay, you look at Brother James mentioned about the bliss earlier. It's because of the amount of years that he has done his practice and because his practice has been intensified, and so he experienced this bliss. But that doesn't mean that if you are just starting to meditate, you will not experience this bliss. Or if someone who has meditated long enough, they experience more bliss than you know. Bhagavan gives this very beautiful analogy also from Prema Vahini, where he says that the entire spiritual pursuit is like a bird trying to fly, right? One wing of the bird is your spiritual practice, your sadhana. The other wing of the bird is Bhagavan's anugraha or his grace. So his grace, we all know, is always here. And we also know that it's a matter of whether we are tuning into him or not. Because if he wants his work to be done, no matter if you close your eyes shut or you close your ears shut or so, he will make sure that you know what he's trying to tell you, or you learn the lesson that he wants to teach you. So it's often from the ignorance is often from our part of the wheel. So let's hope that from today's presentation, we can dispel that ignorance, because it is that ignorance which keeps us away from merging in union with Bhagavan. And so this is just a brief um, the passage from last week. Okay, so I'll just go through very briefly. Bhagavan Baba asks us to receive from him what he generously grants, which is Ananda, leaving behind our sorrows and grief. Bhagavan says, if you're happy, no one will come and ask why you have not been crying recently. So, what is natural to us is the Ananda or bliss, which is our strength. It is bliss and happiness in the form of our Atma. This truth of existence or being, this awareness and this bliss constitutes the Brahman in us. The purpose of life is Ananda, and life comes from Ananda. As a water bubble is born in water, grows in water, and merges in water, man has to be born in Ananda, sustain himself by Ananda, and finally merge in Ananda. Ananda is the breath that sustains life. That is the goal that has to be ever in view while navigating the ocean of one's life. Even the least trace of Ananda that one derives is but a reflection of the divine bliss of Brahmananda. When you have the chance, it is wise not to miss it. I have come to confer Ananda on you. I am prepared to stand here until all of you have your fill of Ananda. The Upanishads attempt to give man a faint idea of the measure of the Brahmananda. The Taittiriya Upanishad assumes human happiness or Manushya Ananda as the unit for estimation. A person having all the wealth he desires, all the renown man can earn, all the learning that can be gained, perfect health, robust views, undisputed sovereignty over the entire sovereignty over the entire globe. His happiness is an understandable base from which to proceed. 100 times of this Manushya Ananda is the Ananda of celestial singers or Gandharvas. 100 times of that is Ananda of the souls of departed beings dwelling in heavenly regions. 100 folds of these is the Ananda that of the divine entities, Ajanmaja. 100 times of Ananda of the God. 100 times is the Ananda of the gods, Deva. And the Lord of the Devas, Indra, is ever in Ananda that is 100 times more than that of Devas. Brihaspati, the preceptor of Indra, has Ananda 100 times, even more than Indra. And Prajapati, the Lord of all beings, has 100-fold Ananda when compared to Brihaspati. Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic golden manifestation, is the source of 100 times more Ananda. The supremest Ananda, the Brahmananda, which is the characteristic of the Guru, is the Hiranyagarbha. So that is why Bhagavan has said that he has come to confer bliss upon us and is not willing to live, and he will not leave this plane of existence until all of us have the share that we deserve. And so we have two reflective questions. The first, what is the difference between happiness, santosha, and ananda, which is bliss? And question number two, how can we be a true spiritual aspirant in search of real bliss and ananda? Now let's go through what we have, just briefly go through what we have covered last week. Last week, we have come to realize what is natural for us. Natural, this bliss component or bliss is a part of us. It is not separate from us. So that is why our being is known as Satchit Ananda. Sat meaning the truth, Chit meaning consciousness, Ananda meaning the bliss. So identifying yourself with something besides this true nature of yourself will bring us away from this innate bliss, which is wanting to be explored, which is wanting to come out into your experience. Bhagavan says, if you're happy, nobody will come and ask you why you have not been crying recently. But this is very true, right? Very rarely you find when you're happy, people coming and asking you why you're not crying. why you are happy, because most people assume that happiness is a state of joy. But if you watch the Tamil series and Astro and all that, if you are happy, someone in your family will come and ask you, lah, why are you happy? Why are you not crying recently? So that is why it's very dangerous to watch all these series, especially this in this Tamil series and all these series, where they have a lot of this politics and drama and all that. Even though you may sit and observe the entire thing as something separate from you, but don't be fooled that when you expose your mind to jealousy, or you expose your mind to this sense of negative contents, it will seep to your mind. Your mind is like a sponge. If you expose your mind to, you soak your mind in muddy water, it will produce muddy water when you squeeze it out. So similarly, if you soak your mind in pure thoughts, in pure water, it will produce pure thoughts and pure experience. So always the natural state of where we are trying to move towards is to condition our mind, or to a certain extent trying to um, soak our mind in a sattvic environment, so that our mind becomes more sattvic, and the rajasic and tamasic qualities of the mind tend to slowly dissipate away, because these rajasic and tamasic qualities are qualities that we have accumulated from our past into our current birth. So by doing this conditioning over a period of time, coming for bhajans, experiencing the bliss in bhajans, participating in seva activities, with all the things that we're doing right now in our life, and some of us have no time to even go for bhajan. So we assume work as worship. And even if you do work as worship, what you're doing is you're exposing your mind to a sattvic kind of environment. And over a period of time, all these negative or tamasic and rajasic tendencies of the mind will start to dissipate away. And this itself will propel you towards realizing your true self, and your mind will naturally move inwards. And this is what we have experienced, just what I've shared just now, the reconstitute of Brahman within us. Okay, and we move to this analogy of the water bubble is born in water, grows in water, and merges in water. Similarly, man has to be born in Ananda, sustain himself in Ananda, and finally merge in Ananda as well. So this level of bliss is what we have come to acquire and come to experience. Having said that, in Prema Vahini, Bhagavan has also mentioned that um, the purpose of the avatar, which has descended to this plane of existence, the human plane of existence, and taken a body of the humans, and having to live the karma of the body, is all just to give us a taste of the bliss, which is the entire ocean itself. So Bhagavan says that if you taste the salt in any part of the ocean, it is similar to the entire ocean itself. So that is why he has come to give us that taste, that divine nectar, that bliss which we experience through our sadhana. And just as Sister Gita mentioned the other day, the moment she looks at Lord Shiva, she just feels so much of love, so much of bliss, so much of joy within herself, right? And so we move to Ananda, which is the breath that sustains life. It is the goal to keep in view of this Ananda while navigating the ocean of life. If you look at these pictures, so beautiful, right? What can you see? Bhagavan says that be like the boat. Be like the boat in the world. In this world of desires, which is the ocean, as you can see, be like that boat which is floating over the desires, not sunken in the desires, not consumed by the desires, not consumed by the worldly attachment, but is still in the world, is still affected by the desires, but not fully sunken into it, and it has not fully gone and merged in the ocean. So staying afloat, just like this ship, is what we all need to do in this jagat, or in this world filled with attachment and desire. So the goal is to keep in view while navigating the ocean of life, always coming back to human values. What are the values which keep us afloat? in this ocean of desires, in this ocean of attachment? How can I be more truthful to myself? What the actions that I'm doing, is it right? Is it righteous enough? Right? Am I experiencing peace within myself? Okay. And then am I experiencing love? Am I expressing enough love to people around me? Right? And so this the entire ship analogy here is to bring this awareness of the human values and all that the message that Bhagavan has come to give us so that we can stay afloat.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't hear anything. Especially.
Okay. And then we had a self-reflection, and many of the participants answered this. What's the difference between Santosha and also Ananda? And I think our sister from Sri Lanka, Santa, she shared when she had um, close contact with Swami and the bliss that she derived from that. Even till today, you can look at this picture and look at her face, and you can see that immense bliss radiating from her face and that direct contact with Swami, Swami blessing her. Um, is a sight, I think, for gods. Right. So it's just so beautiful looking at this, and then we move to what Bhagavan said, even the least trace of Ananda that one derives is but a reflection of the divine bliss. So even the least trace, meaning to say, even the temporary bliss that we get from our worldly things, or so I'm very sure some of your children would have got very good grades in SPM today. And as parents, as mothers or fathers, you surely identify to this and you feel that you have done a good job. And from that, you surely arrive some bliss and some joy because of that. And so similarly, your grandparent and your grandchild has done very well for SPM today. Congratulations. And so you also derive this bliss. You also derive this joy. But this joy is temporary. Bhagavan says, even this temporary joy is nothing else but the reflection of the divine bliss. So don't be disheartened that I've not experienced God, or I've not spoken to God, or I've not experienced this bliss. When am I going to get experience to do? Because those thoughts, those thoughts itself will prevent you from experiencing the bliss. Always remember that you are enough. What you're experiencing is God. You are God. Everything you do is only because of God. Everything you consume is God. The breath that you breathe in the body is God. You think you're breathing, but actually you're not breathing, right? Breath moves in quite naturally in and out of the body, even without your control. And yet we still think at a very deep level that you are actually breathing. Digestion happens quite automatically in your body. And yet you think that, oh, my stomach is not digesting well, my this is not. So it's only the thoughts which keep you entranced in this illusion of or the Maya that we try to dispel ourselves. And then we move to reflection, okay, and and then we open up this question of when you experience joy that had no external cause, and many of our brothers and sisters shared their experience when this moment of your peace actually emanated and they felt this. And then we move to the measurement of the immeasurable. Okay, so the Upanishads attempt to give man a faint idea of the measure of Brahmananda, the ultimate bliss. So, assuming that you have everything in life, wealth, famous, learning, health, youth, undisputed sovereignty, which is impossible. When you look at this, when you have everything, how can you have everything in the first place? I mean, have you met anybody in the world who actually have everything? Even if that person claims that he has everything, there will be 100 people to actually dispute that and say no, that person don't have everything because of this, because of that, because of this. So I'm not sure how they measured this line, no, but in logical sense, maybe at that particular time, one rishi might have um, try to conceptualize, even if you have this. So the idea is, even if you have all of this, it may not be the reality, but even if you have this. But again, when you look at the yugas, right, you had Satya Yuga and then the Dwapara Treta and all these yugas which came in this Kali Yuga. So according to what from the literature itself, it is very clear that during Satya Yuga, the golden age, um, everyone who lived during that age experienced that innate sense of bliss as a natural state within them. So they all knew they were gods. They all knew they were gods, and they had no doubts or whatsoever about their divinity. So they were all fully aware of the innate divinity. So no avatar needed to come down and show them that Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa, and write all the Vahinis and try to enlighten. And no, they were all already enlightened. They were all just gods themselves, living a life at the epitome of human evolution. And so then we move to trying to understand this conceptualized human bliss, right? So 100 times of the human bliss is the Gandharvas. 100 times of the Gandharvas are the departed souls in heaven. So some of you who have family members who have somehow or other um, passed on and a specific day of the year or because of the punyas that they have done, then if they are in heaven, then of course they will experience this bliss. Then 100 times from that is the divine entities or the Ajanmaja. Okay. And then above that, the gods, 100 times from that are the gods. And 100 times from the gods are the Lord of the Devas, Indra. And 100 times of Indra is Brihaspati, the preceptor of Indra. And 100 times of Brihaspati is Prajapati, Lord of all beings. And 100 times above that is Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic golden manifestation. So 100 times of Hiranyagarbha is the supremest Ananda, which is Brahmananda. And Bhagavan says that this is the characteristic of the Guru. So this reminds me of a story that maybe we will just visit Sandeha Nivarani, one of the Vahinis that Swami has written, and in that Vahini, the entire Vahini is just to dispel doubts. The entire Vahini is just to dispel doubts. And one of the doubts that Swami dispels in the Vahini is that when the student asks about gurus, and Bhagavan says, don't simply follow the words of any gurus. Nowadays, we have devotees doing guru shopping. Just like people doing doctor shopping and people going to do normal shopping from one mall to another. People are doing guru shopping, meaning to say, I go to this guru and then I just go superficial. And then after the mind starts to get a bit restless, then I go to another guru, hoping that guru would be able to cure my mind. And then move to another guru, after move to another guru, after move to another guru, you wait 40, 50 years, and then finally you come back to Swami and say, yo, Swami, I've retried all the gurus on the planet. Finally, I realized you are the ultimate gurus. So instead of doing that whole big turn, why don't you just stick where you are, dig the well deep enough, and then find the water which is beneath us every moment, rather than hopping from one tree to another tree, just like the Swami says there are two types of devotion, right? The Makata Kishora, which is the monkey type of devotion, and then you have the Majare Kishora, which is the cat type of devotion. So Bhagavan always emphasizes that we should all be like the cat, meaning to see that when the cat needs the kitten needs anything, the mother cat will come and just grab the kitten by the neck and then bring her to safety or wherever the mother cat feels the safe for the kitten. But the monkey will, or the Makata Kishora, so the baby monkey will still try to hold on to the mother when the mother leaves from one branch to another, and then it signifies that the baby monkey is still using its strength, meaning to say the ego is still in place trying to hold on to the mother. So similarly, Both are types of affection to God. Some people tend to be very Makata like. Some people tend to be like the Majara like the kitten type. We choose which type of affection that we want to build with Bhagavan, and that will is within us, and God has given that will to us. So, dear brothers and sisters, choose wisely the type of um, um, the option. We want to be the monkey which jumps from one guru to another guru until finally realizing that, oh my God, this thing's not working for me right now. And I'm ready at 70 years old or 60 years old. And I've still not learned how to meditate yet, despite going to this, that guru. And finally, I'm still nowhere. In terms of my knowledge, also, I've not improved so much. Or you can just choose to be the cat, just stick with one guru and just sink deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper within his presence and within his bliss. And so this leads me to one story. So I usually go to Parthi if Swami wills. And when I go, I'm involved in the medical camp and I meet wonderful doctors from all over the world who come there to do service. And there's one so doctor who actually lives in Parthi, and he keeps his house, he and the wife keeps the house very secret because his house, you have vibhuti pouring out of the picture like nobody's business. This is the first time in centers in Malaysia, you will see the vibhuti on the center and people will be praying, the vibhuti from the picture, you will see vibhuti and people will be praying to the vibhuti. This house, you will see the sofa, and on top of the sofa, just above the sofa, on the wall, there will be Swami's photo, and from that, the vibhuti will be just dropping down. The whole sofa will be filled with vibhuti. And when you enter, and the energy is so divine and so blissful, and when the doctor asked me to sit, so he actually hosted a few other doctors and myself, because I'm just quite close to him. Or maybe because I'm just the youngest doctor, everybody's so old among all of them, and so he builds a very good, therapeutic relationship with me. And I know psychiatrists are very good at building relationships with people, and so he invited me and he hosted me with the wife for dinner, and then I went and I felt so bad to sit down on the sofa because the vibhuti was literally just dropping from the photo as you were sitting there, you know. And he said, "Doctor, it's okay. You can just go and sit down there." Then I said, but in Tamil I told him, but the vibhuti all dropping. If it drops on me, then how? If it drops on you, it's your blessing. Just take it and move on. So, what I learned is that in that gathering, there was one very elderly gentleman. He's not a doctor, but he is um, the lead Sevadal from US who came in on that day. So he used to be very close to Swami when he was younger. And he shared some of his spiritual experiences with Swami. And during that time, he said that once he was praying so hard. He's an IT specialist from US and initially from India, but then they migrated to US. But from time to time, he'll come back to India because Swami gave him the job, and that's a different story by itself. So when he came back to India, he would just be a Sevada, right? So at one point, he was begging Swami to give him an opportunity to do service. And so the opportunity came to someone to actually take care of this another guru. So this other guru, who's a sannyasi and also a guru, established guru, he had some skin problem, right? Some skin problem and some things which didn't allow him to ambulate normally at home or in his ashram where he used to live. And he's also Swami's devotee, so he completely is immersed with Bhagavan and in very close physical contact with Swami. So Swami, after his darshan and all, he will walk to that room where this Swamiji lives, and then he will come and talk to this Swamiji every day, right? So this is how Bhagavan and him, the relationship at that time. And so this boy, this uncle who was a boy at that time, so he was given the role to take care of this Swamiji, right? So then he was there with this Swamiji. This Swamiji, he said, it was explained to us that this Swamiji took at least 1 week or 10 days to even look at him or to even. So he has gone there to help the Swamiji to move around and to passing the food. He won't even touch like if he comes close to you, he will say, stop. You just put the thing there, I will take from there itself. So he keeps his body so sanctified that someone who is impure cannot even touch him. That is the kind of sadhana he was practicing, or that is what he thought of himself, or we don't know. But anyways, long story short, um, this so after 10 days or some 15 days or what, so then this Guruji start to build this relationship with this boy or the uncle at that time. So then the boys started to become close, and then the Guruji started to teach him Kundalini yoga and all this chakra and how to activate this chakra and moving this chakra to there, that chakra. And then talking about the bliss and all these things with this boy. So in this boy became very enthusiastic because everyone on the spiritual journey, we want like instant spirituality. We want to take a tablet and then get the depression away. Just like most people, they want to take one tablet and pop, all the mental illness is gone. But of course, impossible. So similarly in spirituality, we know that the fruit must ripe. The mind has to ripen in order for it to be able to experience certain things, which is only when it's ready. So at that time, he was young and energetic as a youth. And so he decided, okay, I will do this. And he started to practice. So the next day, after some time, so this has been going on, I was doing this chakra, that chakra. So after some time, Swami came. And Swami was, and then when Swami came, immediately this boy moved away. And then the Guruji was there, and Swami came to the Guruji, and Swami sat. Usually, Swami will sit beside. So Swami sit beside. He's okay. He just don't want other people to come and catch up. And when then Swami looked at him very sternly, very sternly. This is his personal. He's telling us one to one. Sorry, personal experience. Very sternly, Swami looked at the Guruji and said, "Are you ready to be a guru for this disciple, my disciple?" He asked the Guruji. And then the Guruji got shocked because he had disciples and followings of himself, who were disciples of him, and he used to teach them. And when Swami asked him this, he got shocked. Swami said, "These are all my devotees. I have already decided when they should experience God. I am their guru." And so this boy he felt so much of fear in himself, that, oh, what big mistake I have done. I have the Jagat Guru himself, the avatar himself as my guru, and I went and seek someone else's guidance on the spiritual path. So, dear brothers and sisters, what I'm trying to bring out here is that in spiritual life, in spiritual journey, one pointedness is very important. Your mind needs to develop one pointedness. That is why in all major religion, they say that my way is the only way. The gates of heaven can only be achieved through me, through Christ. Islam says very clearly, you can only merge in God through Islam. So why do they say this? They say this because they know that the nature of the mind is that if the mind has more than one thing to focus on, you cannot move spiritually. You need to narrow down the focus. This is called ekagrata. And that ekagrata is what Bhagavan is here to show us. So our attention should be fully focused on Bhagavan. Of course, as you go deeper within him, you start to understand that he is not this body, he is not this mind, he is not whatever you thought who he was. right? As you start reading his literature, you start reading all the talks, then you start to realize that, hey, Swami is that same innate divinity which is present in all the religion itself, which is present in all the religion itself, right? And so that is why Bhagavan says that he is the ultimate Guru. And let us all be fully firm in that conviction right now within us. Of course, you may have received initiation from this person or that person, but deep down, deep down, we know the last thing, if at all, that is really a thing, which I myself am not very convinced, but if that is really the thing, the last person or the last divine entity or the last being that we want to see on this planet would be Swami. And you want Swami to take you from there onwards. If that is the secure, that is, every Sai devotee's final will. And so to summarize the whole thing, right, we look at this, Om Shri Sai Anandaya Namaha, Anandadaya Namaha. 100 times is human bliss, 100 times 100 departed souls in heaven, times 100 divine entities, times 100 gods, times 100 Deva, times 100 Guru, times 100 Prajapati, times 100 Virendra 10 to the power of 18, this is the one. Professor Suresh always say quintillion, quintillion. This is the quintillion. See, you have to go all the way top here to realize the 10 to the power of 18, the quintillion, right? So um, it doesn't matter so much because, you know, when we think of it like time is just a concept in the human mind. Actually, there's no such thing as time itself. So all of these can actually be achieved in maybe 1 year or 2 year or 3 year or 10 years or 15 years. Depends, or not even an instant you can achieve all of this. If Bhagavan wills it, just like that bird, and if you put your effort in it, the effort needs to be there. Okay? The effort needs to be there. In the Vahini also, Bhagavan mentioned that you can take the tablet and you can put it beside the patient. Yes, doctors, we usually prescribe medication for our patients because we want our patients to get better. But if the medication is just kept by the side of the patient, can the patient get better? No. The patient has to take that medicine, has to experience the bitterness of the medicine in order for him or her to cure himself from the illness of ignorance. So similarly, the effort has to be done. You have to make the effort. There's no such thing as I just go for bhajan, I just go for this, I just go for that once a week, this. Eventually, of course, eventually you'll get there, but you need to also do your own personal practice. You have to audit yourself, spiritual audit. Am I progressing or not? Where am I right now? Hmm?
Sabitan, wait,
Yes.
1 second. This is very good. I just want, because this, I like this diagram very much because it's sort of like gives you the entire scope, like a syllabus. It gives you the whole scope as to how much you must get. So I just want to discuss this a bit. And with this particular table, this particular diagram on the table, what is the implication of this for the devotee for here? I'm not asking you, Sabitan. I'm just asking people to look at, by looking at this, what does it show you? What does it imply? What does it reflect to you? This particular scheme of things that has been placed there. What does this mean in a very practical sense? It is a very powerful diagram, if you ask me. Because at one superficial glance, oh, okay, Brahmananda, this one, Dhamma, okay, 10,000, okay, right? Very good, nice, good, very good. And we can dismiss this. But what is the necessity for Swami to have taken that much of trouble to expound and expand this whole thing. What is he trying to tell us? Brother, please, you can unmute and say. Anybody?
I think to me, it is what we are just struggling at the base of this pyramid.
Mm.
And when we know the goal is
So high.
I think it increases our speed with which we have to move on. Because when we don't know that if we are like 100 meter and 200 when you run, then we run fast and we get. But if you have a marathon to run, we conserve our energy, but because we know that our goal is 42 kilometers or something like that. So there, endurance and other things come in play, and that is how we train our body to reach that long race. So here also, sometimes we run fast and we get some joy at a very smaller place, and we think we have reached our goal. But the thing is that it is just a small fraction of what we are supposed to get it. In that case, we'll never be satisfied, and we'll continue our journey further and further. And this way, what will happen that the search will continue, and the thing is that we'll like to be more and pure, pure and pure and pure. Even if people say, "Oh, you become very good," so that ego will diminish, and that's how we move further. That's what I could just think over. Saira.
Nice. So it gives you a kind of intention, intensity, all that comes in. Okay, nice. Okay, anybody else? Please think, dear brothers. Just think about the question, please, because this is very important.
And another thing which I feel is that, see, Swami is on the top, I mean, that is on the 10 to or 18 quintillion on the top. So, I mean, just think the humility of him, just to raise us to that level, he has come down.
Yeah.
So that also, I mean, it was so easily available when he was there.
Mm.
So that joy which he could have given us, just to give us a taste that, but if you come to this place, I mean, this higher up, maybe, I mean, this will give us a thing that if small things happening to us, if a pain is there, if somebody hurt or something, all these things, they are so fractional, and that we are wasting our time thinking about it, whereas we are that bliss and nothing can affect us. That's also it's a reminder to us that we should not be bogged up with the worldly affairs and just continue our march. And as this Bengali writer Rabindranath says, even nobody comes with you walk alone. So that sort of attitude we should have if that conviction comes. Because what happened, we tend to be satisfied with what other people have achieved, and we feel that we have received the goal. But looking at the Swami when he has come, I think he has set us a goal which is very, very high. And if you think of that, at least what we were doing without having the goal, we will reach more faster and more better, because that thinking that our goal is very far. Saira.
Thanks, sir. I didn't. That was a very nice insight. 10 to the power 18 is Bhagwan Baba, and that's nice. And it's a very good insight. Okay. Anybody else? In a practical sense, what does this imply? James?
Sorry, no comment.
Wow. Okay. Okay. See, yeah, anybody, yeah, anyone else? What does this mean? Okay, what does it tell? What does it imply in you? Okay, you saw this whole diagram. What does it imply? Or what is he trying to tell us? You know, okay, this is the whole scheme in which we must go. How long, how many more years we have to reach this level of thing, you see? So I think seriously, if you look at it, the hierarchy is determined by the bliss factor, you know. The higher you are, the more bliss you get, isn't it? See, the 10 to the power 8, the next person is getting 100 times more. So when you have 100 times more bliss, you are Lord of the Devas. 100 times more of that, Brihaspati, 100 times more. So literally, your quantification is really the amount of bliss that I have, that I can get. So if I get more and more bliss, the stratification is that the levels are much higher if you just focus on that. So I don't worry about the rest of it. Let's use that hierarchy in the Manushya Ananda. That is just normal happiness that we have. You see, if a person is continuously worried, anxious, what do you call it, completely, totally immersed in all the problems and just the mind is not at all peace of mind, you know, at that level, where are we? Even at that level of Manushya Ananda, if we are having all this and we get troubled, disturbed, and wow, we are really, really down there, very, very down at that very bottom level, you see. And that from that level, we have to climb and get a look at Swami's teachings and get more and more peace, more and more happiness. Then Santosha, then the Santosha must slowly graduate to some race of Ananda, then slowly get a stream of Ananda, then a homogeneous Ananda. See, then only we are getting a total happiness and total bliss, you see. So it is a direct thing to us that that's why Swami always focus, be happy, pass this, pass. The mind has the natural ability to get into problem, to get into worry, to get into, and then unnecessarily disturb our existence, because we continuously think that, and we think that is the most natural way to exist, which is the sad way in which the world has reminded us to be, you see. And the technology also is reminding you to get worried. Earth is like that, the war is there, the food price is going up, everything is real. So our mind gets entangled in all these things, and suddenly we are not able to achieve or experience that peace and bliss that we are supposed to experience, isn't it? So this diagram really tells us that if we want to elevate, or we want to really aspire for higher consciousness, we have to shift from a worried mind. We should move away from that kind of thing to all the time look for opportunities to experience peace and happiness, because that's the way to graduate to higher levels of bliss, you see. Do you agree? I mean, is that because otherwise all these things, it has to come back to very practical things in life, isn't it? And then Sabitan, you move to the ship, that ship slide. You had one ship there.
Sorry.
Tell me.
You have to keep in mind, sometimes the bliss is also obstacles to self-realization. Bliss is only the first good sign of very high level of picture. We must keep in mind that don't stuck to there. We still have to do. Okay, so.
Yeah, sure. Because even that's why there's one word in Jnana Vahini. Baba used that. I mean, he told what are the obstacles to reach the Atma. There's a word called rasa aswadanam. One word is there in that Jnana Vahini. It means that if you carry this weight in you, such a heavy weight that you have, and you carry for a long time, and you put that weight on the floor, the release of that weight itself gives you a temporary feeling that is bliss. But actually that comes under this term called this rasa aswadanam. It means that you have just relieved some weight of your body, some weight of your problem and left it there. But it does not necessarily mean that is also bliss. Then as you keep on progressing spiritually, yes, you will you will achieve this. But even that, as what James said, that we should not get attached to that. We must move higher and higher to higher levels of bliss. It all comes from this ship, you see. See, the ship is moving forward. Here, you see, it is the goal to keep in view while navigating the ocean of life. This is the word. That is what it means when you sustain, rise in Anandam, sustain in Anandam, and then finish in Anandam. Like that means the ship must all the time focus on that is what I want. This is what I want. So the intention of wanting bliss should be the primary reason why we are sailing in this boat, you see. And the boat can have lots of stormy seas will come, ship will move here, move there, but it is always moving in that direction towards attaining that bliss. It's the goal to keep in view while navigating the ocean of life. That is what the statement is. It's the goal. So all the time, if we can see that whatever happened, we must not lose sight of that pursuit of that ananda, of the goal, then that keeps us always focused, you see. And that exactly is the breath that sustains life. That is what it means, that we are breathing for achieving that ananda. The real purpose of our life is to attain that. So this picture is very, very motivating and to let us know that this is what we should be moving towards, this boat. So now, if the boat is turned another direction, then we cannot go. So we must keep that in mind. And sometimes the worldly things that comes inside can make us lose focus on what the real purpose of our birth is. So the satsangs and all that is to keep reminding that we must be on the ship, and the ship must be continuously moving towards. Yeah, there'll be ocean, there'll be steam, a lot of funny things will happen. Actually, there'll be sharks in the ocean, there'll be all kinds of things. But the ship must continuously focus only on that particular thing, because we are interested in the in moving towards the direction of the ananda. So this is what I think that scheme of that whole direction means, because it's very inspiring. Actually, it's a very, very inspiring subject, because then we don't lose sight of what the focus is.
Yeah, just to let you know that, see, when you go on the ship, you don't know what is east, what is west, what is south and north, because it's all around the water and the sea, water and the sky. So we have a compass which just directs to the north, and from there, every morning earlier when you used to go on the ships, we have to take our direction, our position by the equipment from the sun to know that we are moving in the right direction or not. The waves have not pushed us in the wrong direction. But nowadays, we have a gyro compass and we have satellites which can give us position 24 hours to give us that we are right on the course. And we deviate very little, because we don't have to wait for 24 hours to check how much we have moved towards our direction. So here I can just say that here we can see that, like, Swami is a gyro compass for us. He's continuously giving us our position. That are we getting angry? Are we happy? Are we not happy? And he has given us that gyro compass sort of thing, equipment to continuously judge in our daily life, day and night, to move towards our goal of ananda. So this is a practical example which I can give you with the Swami's presence in our yuga, when we have seen Swami as our guide.
That now that scope, brother, that so will you be deviating? Let's say, so that means the degree of deviation won't be there, right? You'll always be focused.
Yeah, normally what happens is that when the ship sails, Nowadays we have gyro compasses, and we set the direction like 360-degree from. Suppose we are going from Indonesia to Los Angeles or something like that. That is set and automatically. And nowadays we have gyro compasses. They will give us deviation that you are moving 5-degree, and the gyro will continuously keep us, bring us, or because of automation, it will keep us in that direction, maybe 2-degree, 5-degree here and there because of waves. The ship will deviate, but it will continuously take us towards the direction. And at the same time, we nowadays we have, when the weather is rough, this is for the calm sea, but when the weather is rough, the deviation is more. So we have one person on the helm continuously 4 hours duty to see that we don't deviate much. So this is how we maintain our least distance to reach our goal.
See, this is very powerful. This is what yesterday, last Sunday, we had, last Sunday night, we had a scriptural committee meeting. And so I was telling them that what we really should do, because now the 108 names, the last batch is going to come out on this 24th April during the Aradhana Mahotsavam. The last batch will come out. After that, then for Guru Purnima, we are releasing the whole book into, we're making it into a book and we're releasing that. But we are now turning the landmark discussions, the Swami's landmark talks that he has given, and turning that into a study circle guide. We're now preparing the next batch. But I also told them that, see, in the brother, there's a brother Manoj, that what you said is very powerful, because I think that is really hitting the nail, because what we are saying is center leadership, center chairperson, spiritual coordinators, devotional coordinators in the center, they must become like this gyro compass.
Yeah.
Gyro compass. So they must become the gyro compass. So that means as devotees come inside into the center, and if the center is taking them, we should be able to nurture the growth of the devotees. We must be able to help the devotees to grow, and then of course, we also must grow, but at the same time, helping other people to understand, able to appreciate. So any deviation from our normal behavior, the gyro compass should be able to bring us back to the normal line. So then collectively we become responsible for each other's redemption, you see. That's the power of satsang is that. That's why satsang is the ferry boat that can take us across the ocean of some. That's what Swami meant. It is not just attending a study circle and then going back, because just attending a study circle and understanding a philosophy of Swami's teaching is not going to take us there. It's just that of 10 of us are sitting together, all of us become responsible for the growth of that. That is how even in Gurukula, that whole group of students will be responsible for each other's progress. Also, they did discuss. They did, hey, why did you say like that? But I know you didn't come for. So we become responsible for not only ourselves, for everybody else, and that becomes a fraternity. See, that becomes a responsible fraternity, and then collectively we grow towards that. I think that's a very powerful ship. Then the center becomes a real ship, which is taking everybody to this blissful state. You see. So one is to have spirituality individually, we should do like that, but collectively in a society concept, this is how we wanted to create. I was telling them that we should do that whole module and manual in that manner, and then train spiritual nurturing component in the leadership of centers to develop this kind of thing like gyro compass. Yeah, nice. This is a very nice thing.
Because Swami also has said that we can only grow, like if the peace is there or happiness is there, we cannot have like a single person unless the people around me in the village, and if the peace in the house means, then we can go in peace. And if the house peace is depend on the city and town. So idea is that if the whole center is having a peace, everybody is peaceful, then only the center can grow.
Yeah.
So this is very important, that we have to not only grow individually, but as a group.
As a group. And brother, the other interesting thing is that if we in people, when we interact with people, there will always be some issue. Somebody will say something. That's normal, the usual kind of thing. So, what kind of spiritual teachings we should summon during the conflicting times, or during times when we are stressed up, or during times when we are distressed? What type of teachings, or what teachings should come to our aid in order to address that issues? Once the devotee is able to be empowered with those kind of teachings all the time, then you'll be able to diffuse the problem. You'll be able to diffuse the challenge. So
Yeah.
the whole idea of spirituality is exactly what happened when I was saying that when we were having that play, we were doing the Chinese New Year play in Puttaparthi in mountains. Yeah, the story of the mountains. And then Swami said, asked everybody, all the devotees. No, sorry, not Swami said. We all dispersed everybody for lunch, and that was around 12 o'clock. So all went back for lunch. I also went for lunch. And then suddenly I had this funny feeling. So I rushed all the way down to Purnachandra Hall and stood behind the door. And the whole Purnachandra Hall was empty. The hall was empty. Everything was empty. Baba tapped the door open. Swami came out. So when Swami came out, he asked me, "What you had your lunch?" I said, "No, Swami. Yes, I was having lunch." He asked me, "What are you having?" I said, "Chapati." He said, "Why why are you not eating rice?" I said, "No, no, Swami, I was eating chapati." "Yes, but why you are not eating rice?" So I said, "Okay, no, no, Swami, it's okay. I will eat, Swami." I will eat. Like that. So then he walked in front. I walked behind. "What is the name of the play?" So I said, "Swami, the name of the play is Mountains." "What is the story about?" Then Swami, the story is about two people, Swami, two friends. They are both friends, but both of them have the same problem. But the one believes in Bhagavan, one who don't believe in Bhagavan. But the one who believes in Bhagavan knows how to manage the problem. That is the concept of spirituality, isn't it, Swami? I said like that on the stage, right in front of the stage. He was walking in front. I was walking behind. I said, story of two people, one who have Swami, one who don't have Swami. One who believe in Swami must know how to. He said, nice story, good, very good story. He said like that. So then I realized that, I mean, anyway, the play, we staged the play, and that's what mountain means. How you climb that mountain, you see. And there are two people who friends, both of them experience a problem, but how you manage that problem. So in the same way, if the gyro, now that new word you use, gyro compass is, we have the collective gyro compass in the center becomes responsible, the center leadership becomes responsible in order to guide the people, to nurture the people. We have the moral response. Hey, are you meditating or not? Why are you not? Why don't you do this? I'm going to give you a call tomorrow, wake you up. So we nurture the people, nurture the growth of the people like that, so that the whole center collectively grows in that manner, you see. So then we become collective responsible for our growth, you see. So I think that is what we are trying to say. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. This one. No. Before this, brother. Yeah. Think a moment. Okay. Yeah. Reflect. Not reflection. This one. That next one. Okay. So this last. Okay. Even the blaze trees of Ananda that one derives a reflect. So if every time this is a very powerful line also, because every time we experience that at least a level of peace in our life, we must immediately connect that back to the idea that, hey, this is what a reflection of the Atma, which is what Swami is, all the Vahinis talk about this. Atma Sarupalara, Atma Sarupalara, and all the Vahinis, the theme is to connect to the Atma. So if we can know that, if we can extend the peace that we have, we can extend the depth of peace we have, and we can increasingly intensify the feeling of peace to become more and more, then slowly you'll find that we'll get into this thing, and then suddenly you're happy and you don't know why you are happy. And when you don't know why you're happy, that is slowly getting into bliss, isn't it? So that is what this is a very nice thing also. Okay, next one. Next slide. Okay, next slide. Yeah. Oh, this one. Yeah, measuring the. Yeah, this is what we have gone through. Yeah. No, before this supreme pinnacle. Let's see. Oh, this is the high. Okay. This is the carrot. So the guru, like what Manoj said just now, brother Manoj said, the guru himself having that came down to our level to do. So 100 times. That is why Bhagwan, when he walks, you see, now only when we're realizing when Swami just walks, suddenly you have tears in your eyes. Why? Why do you have tears in your eyes when Swami passes by? Just like that. Nothing. It just passed by. People are and sometimes you are uncontrollable because there is pure bliss, and that bliss we are not able to get. So in the mantra, we say Surya Koti Samaprabha, that can you imagine one sun also we cannot see. Yeah, that particular effulgence of God is equivalent to Surya Koti, 1 koti. That illumination and effulgence, and that effulgence is walking past us. We are not able, our system is not able to contain that bliss. So our whole idea of sadhana is actually to expand the consciousness to such an extent that we'll be able to contain even that bliss. Even otherwise, even if we increase that bliss to such a high level, we'll find we'll go berserk. We won't be able to appreciate. We will just go like spiritually intoxicated. So our job in the sadhana is keep on increase. That's why Swami used that word love also. Why? Because keep on loving everybody unconditionally. Just keep on loving, expand the consciousness to such a great height. Then we are supposed to, and then we'll be able to have the container to experience all these levels of ananda that we can experience. So there is a very big journey. Actually, there's a very, very long and very big, but very exciting journey. You know why? Because everything else in life, why you go to the bar? To get happiness only. That's why you got happy hours, isn't it? Why you go to the bar? You want to experience happy hours. But the trouble is in the bar, after the third drink, you don't even know who you are. And suddenly you'll be so intoxicated and then you have hangover. Every experience in the world is only to a limit only. You can't go beyond that. One laddu is nice, but 10th laddu, you'll be diabetic. So like that, everything has got a limit only in the world. But this journey, which is what Sabitan has shown, this whole thing, this journey is limitless. You can never get exhausted, you'll never get tired, and it is never limiting, it's never suffocating. It just goes deeper, because with this ananda, the other two components also will go, because don't forget it is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So when Ananda goes higher and higher, it can only happen when your Sat, the state of the being, also will go up. Chit, the awareness also will go up. Can you imagine? So if you're upgrading, it's like upgrading your computer, upgrading your handphone. If you upgrade your handphone and your computer, that particular technology, you are able to use it for such a big number of users. So it's a very exciting journey. The spiritual life is a very, very exciting journey which does not give you boredom.
Sorry. The part that I like when you say, I think it was Rama Maharshi. He said when he having a satsang or having with the disciples and all that, then halfway he will walk and go to the kitchen, eat something, remember?
Yeah. Ramakrishna, that is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. What he does is that to hook it, because we don't have a hook. You see, it's very interesting. If you are not hooking to something, you can't. The world will become very boring. The world, there's no excitement in this world. After some time, nothing appeals excitement. You only you do things because there's something exciting, something for you to go forward. Ramakrishna Paramsa, they used to talk, and in between go to the kitchen and eat. So Sharadamma was one day out of embarrassment only, he said, what is this? I mean, how can you just come like that? And then he said, hey, if the day that I don't do this is you can start counting the days before. That will be the day when slowly I'll be dying off. That means the hook is no more there. So he hooked it on food. So like that, the best place to hook, that's why you find everything you need to hook something, means best thing to hook is hook onto his mission. We can never go wrong on that one. If you hook onto his mission, like the teachers hooking onto the EHV program, or the Sevadals looking on those, something that we keep on thinking of God and keep on doing it, hook onto something. There's a place in this world that we can exercise the reason why we are born, but at the same time experience peace. This is how to balance it up, you see. Otherwise, even in spirituality, sometimes people, if the ship is not, that's why you find some people just coming in the center. After some time, then it becomes what else is there? Nothing. It becomes boring. So they go and look at other things, and then it doesn't become another exciting it's difficult for them to continue because the world becomes more exciting. The mind must all the time be pulled in. That is the whole trouble with our life, is that we have a mind, but we need to use the mind to reach God. That is why Swami said, Manasa Bhajore Guru Charada. He sang the first song. This is the antidote. You have to take the mind and hook it to the teacher's feet. You see. So once we know the teacher's feet, so we just look where the teacher is going, we just follow the teacher only. So the teacher is doing the mission work, we just follow the mission. That's the only way to have salvation, have redemption, at the same time enjoy the beautiful state of bliss, which is going to the 10 power 18. Man. Can you imagine? It's interesting if you really look at it. Even that movie, there's one movie that recently they released on the 100th birthday. I saw that movie in the TV. It's very nice and very inspiring. Even when you see that movie with Swami and that whole, I mean, you uncontrollable. Sometimes you find uncontrollable tears coming out and you get choked and all that because you can't take it. So even with the simple things also we are not able to contain. What more of these high levels of bliss? My God, you'll be really very intoxicating and very interesting to get to this facet.
What is that movie? What is the movie you said?
Ananda. I think it's Sabitan Ananda, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Released in English or something? From where?
It is okay. I saw it in Tamil, I think, the movie, but yeah, it's not in theater. They didn't release it in theater. They released it in OTT.
Oh.
Yeah, it's nice. They showed Swami's the stories of different. They used 500 scripts, real stories of Swami, and they picked up 5 stories from real life stories, and they made that into a movie. And they released it in conjunction with 100th Swami's 100th birthday. Nice. It's in the TV. If you see Simply South, there is one channel. There you can watch it. But I do not know in Thailand what channel you can see. But also there's a there's a link also. Yeah, you can send a link and they can see through the link. Yeah.
I sent Brother Manoj already.
Okay. Sabitan send you a link, so you can watch that thing there, brother. Yeah. Anyway, the point of watching that is that when you see the story, you can quite a few things can overlap into your own life, or you can feel very nice. It's actually a nice movie. Yeah. Okay, Sabitan. Sorry. Yeah, carry on.
This is for Sabitan, where he brought up one important point. He said, being a seeker on the spiritual side, we normally go to quite many gurus, which is very true. I learned it from a senior side brothers, many years ago. He said, James, we got 2 legs, 2 legs and 2 boats. One leg will be on one boat. The other leg will go from one boat to another boat, And most of my spiritual friends or seekers are like that, They will move. They are like, when we are practicing like meditation TM like that, we'll be in TM. We know the meditation is correct, because we got good experience and all that. And we know it's something that's genuine, no bluff. But people will say this guru something, that guru something. We will go and see, Go and see, go and experience, But unless that guru is better than the other leg, which is stable, right? Like I'm with TM, right? I will move. Otherwise, I won't move, But the other leg will always move from one place to another place because we need to experience. Remember, that guru is good, or you got certain things. We hear, we don't know. Unless we go and see, we go and experience, then only we can evolve, We can know certain thing about spirituality, you see. So, like, for example, we also learn like silver mind control. Then, of course, Baba also showed me Achan Chai, the enlightened master of Thailand, and then Yogananda, and then Ramarashi and all that, So you go different. Then you find that, how come all similar, So different levels of, different ways of practicing, but reaching the same point. If we don't venture and go around, then we become like what I call very monotone. The chances of being a seeker just on one path will be a bit difficult. I find it is my experience, and all most of my friends are like that. One leg will be very stable. The only time that I shift this stable leg into the other one is that I come to Swami. That's the only one I change. I'm there, I just move my leg, let's say my right leg will moving from one point to another point, but my left leg never move on until I come to know Swami. Then because I experienced Swami a certain different level, then I realized, hey, this is something very different. You see? Otherwise, we won't grow mature. I don't know. This is my personal experience. Silent.
Yeah. So you see, there are two ways of doing that, or two ways of addressing that issue. One, when we are a spiritual person, like I also used to go for all these. So many gurus came those days. Also, I used to go and sit in every lecture. Oh my God, so many like that. I used to go. So teachers look at it. So, but finally, like what you said, when we have come to the ocean, where we are actually swimming in the mighty ocean, all the rivers are getting there. So then it becomes, or the mind only wants, it's a different feeling. The mind is only seeking clarification, maybe a better understanding of something like that. Yeah, then the others become reference. But when we have found the teacher, then it comes as a feeling level. This is a different thing. See, at the end of the day, it is we must move from the level of the mind, where we are just looking for knowledge and comes finally to the level of the feeling. You see, once we root ourselves to the level of the feeling, then it becomes a different relationship. You see, it's no more like a teacher student. It becomes like a father son, or it becomes like a close relation. That for his sake, then we are doing certain. That relationship is totally different from there. In fact, many disciples or many students develop this kind of very close, intimate relationship, where it is really at the level of the feeling. And Baba mentioned that many times also, that even the Chinnakatha story, you remember the Gita, the monks were many monks, and then this boy was, as they said, Krishna turned his back and he was teaching to Arjuna the whole Gita. And then the boy was crying. Small boy who listened to the story was crying. So the Swamiji was explaining the whole Gita, and then finally he called the boy and said, "Why you are crying? Are you crying because you are taken aback by my Gita's translation of Gita slokas?" He said, no, I was crying because Krishna turned his back, and so long he must have turned his back. I felt his neck should have been painful. Therefore, he cried. So he got connected. So Swami said, who will get the experience better? Will it be the one who's trying to translate that knowledge, or is the one who is connected to Krishna already at the level of the feeling? So finally, it's the spirituality is the connection is at the level of the feelings. That is where the answer is supposed to lie. So all our experiences that we are searching and searching, once we have discovered, then we must anchor that at the level of the feeling, and just be have the feel. Then you will have the experience of the completeness, the Purnima, the Guru Purnima, the fullness we will experience only through Guru. That's why the Purnima, that's why the word Guru Purnima, a fullness can only be experienced for a guru. So that feeling, that love, that relationship that each individual develops helps that person to grow, because from that you get grace, and with grace you'll get that all the knowledge that we have. In fact, this climbing to go to higher levels, if we don't have God's grace, we can't go up also. We'll be sitting in the same place. So grace is the single most important thing that we should aspire to get. So yeah, one leg is there, and what he said is rightly, what James said that. Okay, so just submit the next one. Yeah, when you have the chance, it's wise not to miss it. Do you know something? It's very easy to miss. You see, even the great rishis at certain points missed it, and then they had to slip and go back for tapas and again come back, because the world can offer you many, many illusions. So it's very to continue to have the yearning is a very important thing as well. And he says, I've come to confer Ananda, which is what he said. I'm here to give Ananda to everybody. So I've come to confer Ananda. So I'm prepared to stand here and give it to you if you want, you see. So we must aspire for this, what he has given. That's why he keeps saying, I will give you what you want so that one day you will want what I give. So what is it that you want to give? I want to give you Ananda. This is what I've come to give. Then why won't we want to ask that? So this is what we should be aspiring for and asking for and filling our life. Because Sabitan, you put that that mind one, remember the bubble. There was one thing, that bubble. You see, go to that picture, go to that one thing that you talked about, that bubble. This is very, very powerful. This is the as a water bubble is born in water, grows in water, and merges in water. See, the water bubble, we are existing in this. We will live for a short while. The bubble goes by. Like that, man has to be born. Man has to be born in Ananda, sustain himself by Ananda, and finally merge in. This is the highest reality. That means, what does this imply? Imply means from tomorrow morning, every moment you get up in life, you must feel happy. You must feel thrilled to be given another opportunity to live in this world. Thrilled that we have got this but 10 to the power of 100 times more bliss that we are supposed to be get. Thrilled that we are 8.4 billion, so 8.4 million species. Out of that, we are the only ones who can go for Ananda. Others cannot. We are the only ones, Swami said. That is why you're the crown of creation. So that feeling must be the wow, so rare to be feeling this, so unique, so special. So I must consolidate and become very connected to this idea before the mind goes and solves all these problems of the world. I got this business to take care of, must. So that is all only subsequent. That is because we are living, we have to do. It's like brushing teeth. When you're born, you're not born. Purpose of birth is not to brush the teeth, but because you're born, you're brushing the teeth. Like that, there are so many other problems we have to attend. But this feeling that I must grow in Ananda, I must sustain and live, then you'll find all the time you'll feel happy. So this is a very powerful mantra, you ask me seriously. As a water bubble, because Swami mentioned it many, many times. As a water bubble is born in water, grows in water, merges. Man must be born in Ananda, sustain himself, and finally merge in. Finally, we have to return back to the Ananda only. So this purpose of life in Ananda comes from Ananda. I think this is a very, if you have a camera or photograph, you better take a snapshot of this, because this is very nice statement to continuously remind. So and how do you know? Anytime you have an emotional distress, anytime you are, let's say, unhappy, this particular statement will make you get back into the thing. So next, we're having not this Monday, I think the following Monday, we're having the Gita for the American. We are doing the Gita session, and there we are talking about the inclusion cycle in chapter 3. This is about how to get back into the cycle. This is how you get back into the cycle. Continuously thinking, hey, I'm born in the Ananda, I sustain in Ananda, I should merge in Ananda. So if their mantra is that, then anything else that is distracting will not terribly affect us, you see. This is a very powerful immunization protocol, if you really like it. Yeah. Okay.
Brother Suresh, can I add?
Yeah, please.
Sairam, my name is Amrita. I just joined this today. I just want to share my view
Please.
that I am a devotee of Baba, a long-standing devotee. But Baba himself once shared with me that I needed the help of a saint. And I sought the help of a particular saint living in India. And I just want to say that, yes, we all know Swami is supreme. He is the Supreme Lord, but he has a lot of light workers,
So many.
they're all around us as saints. So as long as in our minds we know that Baba is supreme and we seek the help of these light workers who are saints around us, I think it's all right, as long as we don't lose focus that Swami is God, it's okay to see, I feel.
No,
Just a
definitely.
view.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Which is why, if you recall, I used the analogy that
Mhm.
it is beautiful to swim in the ocean and realize that all the rivers all around the mountains, the waters are coming to the ocean. So what does it mean? It means acceptance of all the people who are doing this work,
Yeah.
acceptance of all the healers and light. And you're right, because there are so many light people that are really working in their own way, in
Yeah.
increasing the frequency of the vibration of the world. All of the work that we're doing, all are coming to the ocean, you see. So that's why in this ocean we should not become judgmental nor separate and distinct, because then it'll make the life become more
Yes, there should be oneness, and so that would be to encompass all of the saints
yeah.
When we meet them, because that itself
True.
is an opportunity, to receive grace from them.
Yeah,
I
true.
feel.
Very
Yeah.
right. Those days, whenever all the teachers come, we used to rush and touch the feet and feel oneness with it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're saying the same thing. Thanks. Where are you from? Which are you in Malaysia?
Singapore. I received this, so today I joined.
Oh, but we don't really have that many Singaporeans, Is that any? You might.
But somebody sent me the link, so I thought I would just join today.
Would you mind giving the link to all your Singapore friends? At least we can include.
Sure. I'll do that.
Yeah, get more
I'll do
people.
that.
The idea is that we wanted this is a zonal function, so get many more Singaporeans, get everybody to come and sit down and contribute. Like you see, today you made one very valuable contribution. Like that, everybody contributes. It'll be nice. Yeah.
Yes, I'll try.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sairam.
so much.
Sister Amrita, you don't mind to text me your contact so that we can put you on the loop for next satsang. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have now 10:02. It's a very nice satsang. Sabitan, very, very nice. It's very inspiring, and it's very, very, very nicely done by your team and your group. Because this is finally whatever you can do 1,000 things, but finally the end result is Ananda, and he has come to give us that. So if we can infuse that into everything that we do, wow, life is going to be beautiful and wonderful. Until we meet again next week, Sairam.
Shanti Shanti Shanti. Saram, everyone.
Sairam, thank you.
Meet again next
Sairam.
Tuesday.
Thank you.
Sairam, thank you.
Sairam, thank you.
Sairam, thank you.
Sairam.
Unusual.
Hello.